What's up, guys? Jez here, WhiskefyTV. We are episode 68. It is Whiskey Wednesday, and here is what I got for you guys this evening. So, as you may notice, is a bottle of Ancient Age. Now, it is 80 proof or 40%. It's $70 Australian and $15 ish American, so crazy price difference there. For the cask, it is American oak, so the typical charred American oak for what they use for like standard sort of stuff over there. So before I crack into the review side of things, there's one more thing I've got to go through, which is the mash bill. So with this mash bill, oh, I spilled that all the way down the front. See, if I don't spill it on here, I'm spilling it elsewhere. It's got to go somewhere, right? So yeah, with this, the mash bill is Rye Mash 2. So what that means is we've got a higher corn concentration from what I've read online, so it's still a bourbon, so we're talking like 51%. The corn mash bill, I'm making this up as I go, so work with me. So yeah, 51% corn mash, and then it's obviously got that higher rye, and then whatever it's got with the malted barley. So that would be that. Before I hook into this though, I said way too many times last time, so I'm going to try and keep that at an absolute minimum, because it was funny watching it back and I was like, really, did I just say not like everything's written down here, right? So if you guys aren't familiar, I'm going to say like 400 times rather than if you guys aren't familiar with Ancient Age, it's part of the Sazerac Company's bourbon lineup. I don't even know why I paused there. It's part of their bourbon lineup, and it's coming from Buffalo Trace. Now, Buffalo Trace claims since 1946 this bourbon's been held in high regard, but I know that these guys have flicked around between brands, but I don't know which brand originally owned it. I saw a couple of things on Wikipedia, but I was like, I don't know where this kind of fits into it, and there's not much on their website either. And yeah, there's also not much information about Ancient Age itself, only because there's just a small amount of information on the website. But Buffalo Trace is pushing all their like higher end products, like your Buffalo Trace, say your Eagle Rares. I could go through the rest of the list, but I'd be here all night, like Elmer T. Lee's and Blanton's, and yeah, the list goes on. Almost every other bottle that is here, other than the Jack Daniel's Jim Beam and the Wild Turkey, is Sazerac Co. Now, I didn't go through the age statement either, or did I? I don't remember. There's no actual age statement on the bottle, nor on the Buffalo Trace website, but a little bit of a cheeky deep dive has brought me to it's about 36 months, or 3 years if you're not good with math. Which was like, okay, you're calling it a bourbon, it's 3 years, okay. So it doesn't hold me in high hopes, but I believe it's blended anyway. So, you know, they might grab a couple of older barrels, a couple of younger barrels, then blend them together and then drop it out, because this is a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. Now, I covered the Rye Mash too, so let's hook into the tasting. This one's going to be super short as well, only because there wasn't like a large amount of information, which I'm sure you guys will just knock this out on Wednesday evening, and hopefully if you guys have got a bottle at home, you can drink it with me. Righty then, so nose. Well, I popped this one earlier and was doing the tasting notes for it. Like fresh crack, it was it's screw top as well, so obviously that's why you guys can get a pop. And I didn't actually show you guys the bottle, but you guys should know. It's Ancient Age, right? I always turn that the wrong way. I don't know why. We'll go this way. Yeah, mad. That's long enough. You guys know what it looks like. So yeah, when I was doing the tasting notes for this earlier, on the nose I got this initial cherry, like it. The last time I think it was last week as well, I said this reminded me of Wild Turkey. Not Wild Turkey, Russell's Reserve 10 year. Just with that cherry, like, as soon as you crack it, nose in there, I was getting this obvious cherry note. But on the second pour, it was more of like a fresh white oak and this overall sweetness. None of my typical caramels or... Actually, now that it's kind of opened up a little bit more, it's more, I want to say floral, but none of that. I'm not getting that high pepper either off the Rye Mash too. So moving forward, you can see it in the glass there, just as I kind of give it a cheeky swish. It's super low viscosity as well. All right, give that sucker a bit of a Kentucky chew, let those flavors kind of develop in your mouth. As I said, super low viscosity. Just flicking it around, it's basically like water. It doesn't feel oily, doesn't feel heavy with the weight. There's an initial pepper, a mid palate, working. I'll get another taste just to. Okay, yeah. Ooh, so initial pepper, kind of front of the tip of the tongue, and a bit at the back of the tongue. Whether that pepper was reactivated because I already took it down and then had another swig, either way, it's not mid palate, it's front or back, either one. And then just that oak carrying on. I'd still say it's more of a white oak anyway. Doesn't feel like it's been like charred, obviously charred, New American oak, but it has been in the barrel long enough to engage with those porous woods. So yeah. Now we'll move on to the finish. All right, so this is where that charred oak kind of comes into effect, and I'm really getting that on the finish, that just charred oakiness. Amazing. But it fades to more of a lighter oak, which didn't make much sense to me unless my tasting notes are wrong. Who knows? With a rather short and peppery finish, obviously from that higher rye in the mash bill. So, moving on to my stolen buy bar or pass to work out how we're going to grade this thing in the grand scale of things, just in case it's your first episode, who knows. So I put down that in the US market, this is an easy buy. For $15, you want like a good intro to bourbon, it makes sense. Like if you want to burn $15, go ahead, 80 proof, hook in. In Australia, meh. We're say $70, we can probably get actually with those cherry notes, I'd probably go for a Russell's Reserve single barrel, only because you got that higher proof there and it's a good intro into it. So my pricing's a little bit out, plus it's like 5 times, I'm not good with math, 5 times American retail, so I'm like, not touching that. Super low viscosity, so it needed more weight for me. I didn't really enjoy that vibe, but the finish was good, even though it wasn't a longer finish as I like, because you're sipping whiskey and you're like, nah. But at the same time, it's 80 proof. Not really much of a sipper, something you probably whip in a cocktail or something, but it is an expensive bottle to buy if you want to use it in a cocktail. Now, I've put down as a bar lean pass. Obviously, I want you guys to try as many bourbons as I can get you guys to try, but, well, especially for the Aussie market too. But the US market, meh, go buy it, who cares? For Aussies, I'd say bar lean pass. So what that means is go try to the bar, but if you can't, hey, don't worry, because I'd pass on this one too. If I had any spare sample bottles, which I gave them all out to the guys at work, I'd send anyone that asks some. So, and Cleo's done, so maybe that means I should wrap it up. Oh, are you still recording is the real question. Yes, it is. Okay, perfect. My watch turned off and I thought Cleo was done. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed me not saying as many times as I did last time, because it was insane. But yeah, thank you. Love y'all. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you enjoyed the bourbon too. I'd like to hear your thoughts on the ancient age, because we've only got access to, we don't really even have access. I know there's a couple of bottles floating around on the market. This ancient age, I think I picked up from Hairy Dog Liquor, but I don't believe they have any more stock. It's paid anywhere between 70 to 80 bucks. It's 1 litre too, so I'm like, it'll be fine to burn out in a cocktail or something. Screw cap, so not much love. I forgot where I was going with all of that. I'll circle back. Yeah, if you guys aren't following me on my socials, please jump over, because I'm doing this every week and I love doing it. Hopefully you guys are tasting at home, because that makes it all the more fun. Any questions, please hit me up on my socials. Much love. Stay thirsty. Peace.